So here on this farm-based industrial estate,
the capital of racing is probably a small Midlands town in England called Bicester.
well, we're near Bicester, more specifically, is something that is probably the best kept secret in motorsport. In fact, it has been used by drivers to gain time on track, and those drivers are actively keeping it a secret and they don't want anyone to know about it. I myself have benefited from this. I took the Ingham back in 2019.
Alex Bagnall, first time out in the Ingham. You've got the Ingham going around the outside of Chris Goff. So the red car, the Baton, the former championship winning car, just behind him. Look how close that was between Ross Hill and Alex Bagnall. Bagnall it is that makes him a place. I am really impressed by Alex Bagnall's performance in this Ingham.
To Croft, a circuit that I'd never even visited, let alone driven. How did I do that? This is the very car I drove at Croft. We were suffering with a bit of a carburettor issue, which meant that we weren't really getting the speed down the straight that we needed. However, into the first corner, I was keeping it in fourth, focusing on the corner, and then changing down to third before the second right-hander. Using this technique, I was able to claw all of that time I lost down the straight back, and that was a technique I developed here. It's a simulator. I'm not actually allowed to point the camera down here and actually show you the mechanism. It's a unique system. And this system has been used to set up GT cars, Formula One cars, and is also being used by national level karters to improve their racing skills. This system also has eye tracking, and this car here has got a setup that is basically being built around the Ingham that I drove at Croft. In fact, it had my input into improving that model as well. This system does run on Assetto Corsa, a very modified version with lots of different layers of settings that can be changed. It can run other software as well, of course. I've been given the unique opportunity to drive Dave Robson's SDAR, which is a 750 Formula car. And I'm going to be driving it Silverstone this weekend. In fact, not just driving it, but racing it. This is going to be a key part of my race preparation. So what is unique about this is the way this simulator provides G-forces to the driver. I've got to watch my head because it is a projector up here with a wraparound screen, and I'm going to share with you my first few laps. It is adjustable, you can push it back. Look, I'm a tall boy, so back in the pits, and then we'll take it for a spin. We've got 20 litres of fuel, tyres are hot, I nearly stalled it. Flat out the pits. Okay. I've got good temper with tyres, so I'm going to shut up. Let's see what we do. Hit the edge of the track there. We were on the delta. We lost half a second because of that. Shame we lost that half a second because we would have made it then. But another quiet lap for me, good tempo with the tyres. Let's do it. One more lap. 169. Bit of oversteer. No track limits issues there. curb, good, good, good. Oh, we gained a chunk. Oh, I'm not quite going to do it. One more lap. It's fair to say I'm addicted to this thing. 1:16.8. So that's it. I've done probably about 60 laps in the race car. I'm not getting any quicker. I definitely recommend you come and check out Jay Walker Racing Simulations. There's a link down in the description. We're racing this weekend at Silverstone, so fingers crossed, hopefully we're going to do really well. We're here at Silverstone South International in the Formula One garage. Hopefully you can hear me over the sound of people warming their engines up. And we've been given the absolute privilege of driving Dave Robson's wonderfully crafted SDAR car, and we're going to race it today, and the weather's good. Hopefully we do well. Let's have a look at this car. That's what all the girls want to know. So we're out for our practice and qualifying session. It's all one session. I'm just going to skip ahead, and I'm here pointing by Bill Cowley. He's a pretty quick driver, and I know if I can stay on his toes or on his back, I'll be there or thereabouts. It's been quite handy here because everyone else has gotten out of Bill Cowley's way, and that means we've been able to get past some of the other drivers and get some clean space on track. Still driving with a bit of caution. I didn't know this at this point in the weekend, but the track was actually quite slippery at this point, and it got quicker and quicker, especially on the second day when we had race 2. I did have trouble with the gearbox, especially in this session, and it did keep popping out of gear, mostly because I wasn't being assertive with the gearbox well enough. Probably going to pop out of gear now. There we go. But yeah, it just needs to. It's a dog box in this car, and you just have to be a bit assertive with it. No, struggling with it. Struggling with gears again. Again, it slips out again. But after this session, I've never had any issue with it. Whoa, losing the rear end there as well. I was over revving a little bit the engine on the downshifts. Dave even said when he looked at the data after, 8,300 revs. Oh, more gear issues. And it's because I was heeling and towing and I wasn't doing a very good job of it. And about halfway through this session, I just decided I wasn't going to risk damaging the engine. I could see the revs going really high in the corner of my eye. And so I did the races without heeling and towing. This is me struggling with that. Okay, I've got Dave Watts in front of me. We're also going by Hugh Davis and Rod Hill as well. A nice triple overtake. Dave Watts was pretty quick. He did pretty well in the session as well. He did say after that he didn't know the circuit and he just followed me around, and that was how he was able to do the quick laps. So here we go, this is my quick lap. Full speed round that corner there, full speed round turn 1, and then braking about where the curb starts. It was a bit earlier in this case. Turn it in, ease back onto the gas, and then here I don't actually brake into this corner at all. I just lift off and turn where that exit road is there. Good chunk of curb. And then we're back down the hanger straight. And we're getting up to about 105 miles an hour. I was braking into Stowe Corner a little bit, all through both Saturday and Sunday. On the sim I didn't brake at all, but it was only a very light touch just for a bit of confidence. Right, brake about the curbs here. No oversteer on the turning, which is good. I sometimes had a bit of snap oversteer going into that corner. And then flat on the gas. all the way through here down to the lap, and I think we did a really nice time. We did 1:16.03, and you can see here everyone in the top 5 was really close. Bill Cowley got the quickest time. We're less than a tenth behind him. Actually, I say less than a tenth, we're just over a tenth behind him, but it's basically 3/10 covering the top 5, which means that we're in for a really exciting race. So we've just been out for the first, well, the only practice stroke qualifying session, and it's gone really, really well. I had a couple of issues with trying to get the car in gear and it not popping out, but last lap was really good, and the 2 laps before that was really good. So we've managed to stick it on 3rd, which is great. Bill Cowley got pole. He just managed to pip everyone at the end there, but he's only 2/10 up, so that's good on him. But I think there's a bit more in the car, so a bit disappointed we couldn't get pole. But considering I haven't driven the car before and it's a track I don't know, that's a really great result. So on to the first and only race of today, with the second race being tomorrow. I get a terrible spot. You can see the smoke billowing out from where the clutch is. It looks a lot worse in real life than it does on the film. I thought I got a good start until I got swamped by everybody. I'm just about to get pinched by everybody, so I have to back off. Lost me a couple more spaces, and then those with more momentum behind me start streaming past as well. So a really, really bad start by me there. One of the problems with the green flag lap here is we don't actually start from the grid, and so there's no opportunity to do a practice start. So we're going into Stowe, big corner. Maybe we can catch some people up here, and we do. We've got a fistful of time over Chris in front. He's going to pull to the inside, and we're going to go for a move. And we're just not brave enough, but Chris has gone wide. Oh, he's coming back on track, and he's scared me, and Rich Jenkins there has passed me then. Oh, we nearly hit him, we don't. We've got a bit of toe, and we go on the inside, and we're able to just drive by him. He seems to have seems to be a bit down on power. Not quite flat through here, not quite got the confidence in the tyres. We get Jake there at the chicane again, while Chris nearly runs into the back of Chris Goff. And we're back down on the hanger straight, and we're able to carry that momentum past Chris into Stowe and take the place. And we nearly have Chris Goff as well, but we have to have a bit of brakes because he's coming onto the inside, and then absolute disaster breaks loose. I shove it into 3rd, can't get it in gear, and then lose concentration, lose the rear, spin, collect Chris Johnson on my way round, and lose the engine, and I think I'm down in pretty much last. Then I restart it, and to add insult to injury, I stall it as well. Anyway, we go past Bill Vetter on our recovery drive. Little bit of oversteer again. Going past Tony Brazier there, who had a failure on his car. He found when he got into the pits, some rod ends had failed. So we had really good pace. You can see we got Matt Owen here. He was having gear shift issues all weekend, so he was further back than he would normally like. We're coming onto the back of Simon Balter. And again, really good speed through this link section onto the hanger straight. Carry that through, and a bit of toe as well. That just gives us really good speed, and we'll just carry it by Simon there. And Hugh Davis as well into the first corner. Have a lift because I'm not sure if he's going to let me by, but he makes it really easy for me. And then we've got Will Smith as well. A nice easy one into the chicane. He's carrying a lot more weight than I am, so it's a bit unfair really. We've got Rich Jenkins, who we overtake for the second time, and then we're presented with David Watts, who's lost his cylinder head or something and is parked in a very dangerous position. Rich Jenkins gets past, in the melee there, and then we get to have another go at him down the main straight. Again, he's not quite got the power he wants, I think, in that car, and so a bit of toe and we're easily by. And that was it. The David Watts being on the racing line there brought the safety car out, and that was how the race finished. And in the pits you can see we had to cut out the expanded foam that Dave put into the rear of the car. The more serious damage was to Chris Johnson's car, who broke one of his mud guards, but fortunately he was able to fix it overnight and get out for race 2 the next day. And that was the first race, and I'm feeling a bit dejected because well, I binned it. There's no other way to describe it. I couldn't quite get it into third gear, and I was focusing on trying to get into gear rather than getting around the corner, and I ended up spinning it, having actually got another terrible start. Really is my weak point. Sorry for Chris, he was collateral damage in my accident. We did get called up to the stewards straight after to explain ourselves. I think they were more concerned that he hit me, but that definitely wasn't the case. It was definitely my fault. Luckily the damage isn't too significant, and it's just really a case of patching up and racing again tomorrow. We're second on the grid tomorrow, so another place up. If I can get off the line, I'll do all right. But it's it's getting off the line. I really struggle with it, unfortunately. Good morning. Right, we didn't have a great day yesterday. Well, we had a good practice and a bad race, but we're now on P2 for race 2. So all I need to do is try and get a good start, and hopefully I can be in the mix. Luckily for us, Sunday's race was being live streamed, so we've got the benefit of TV coverage to watch as well.
Position, Ian, let's go back up to you, because coming up next is the Race Pass 750 Formula Championship.
Autosport described this race as a cracker, so it's going to be well worth the watch.
Colourful sight they make. It's going to be a 50-minute race. Look how Bill Cowley has got his car poised, Johnny, pointing towards Abbey, really, isn't it? Towards the right.
Yeah, and even though he's in pole position, starting level with Alexander Bagnall, but doesn't necessarily have the ideal line into Abbey, so that's the reason he's done that.
Okay, the green flag has waved at the back of the grid, the red light is on. You can see that the top score at one of the screen, the lights go out and away we go then. And immediately Cowley does move across to the right-hand side of the circuit. That's where he clearly really wanted to be. And he's got Bagnall in beside him. Mark Glover in the number 4 car has made a good start. He's moved up to second position. You've got Richard Roth in the blue guys. Has fallen off one of the cars there, I think, as they head through Abbey for the first time, and it's side by side for the 2 leaders. They head down to Village. It is going to be Cowley that holds on to the advantage then as they turn their way through that right-handed hairpin from Mark Glover in second place. It's Bagnall that's still in third, Peter Bowe 4th, Richard Rothery 5th, and Oliver Collett 6th at the moment. There's some jousting for position a little bit further back down the order. Cars running side by side as they head down Hang Straight for the first time.
Yeah, that was Hugh Davis looking to turn in at the usual point, then realising there was a car there, which was the 15 of Bill Rutter, so he had to readdress his line very slightly over the quick dry. So it could be pretty slippery on the exit of that corner onto the Hanger Straight. They've all managed, though, to stay on the straight and narrow for the time being. Oh, again, another puff of quick dry from Bill Cowley's front left tyre, rather. And side by side for the lead, this is Mark Glover trying to fend off from the front row, Bagnall. Yeah, Alexander Bagnall there in the number 41 car, who now in turn in third position. He's trying to keep Peter Bove in the Derby, the reigning champion, behind him. The Bagnall car is actually Dave Robson's, well, not his regular man, because Dave Robson not driving the car. He's the car owned by him. Oh, and that's the car that was off yesterday. The Centaur has had another spin. That is the 57 car of David Watts trying to get back into the race. That, I think, was on the link road between Vale and Club, yes, because now David's just coming out of Club to whip across the line to complete his first lap as they funnel their way back onto the Hanger Straight, and having a long look around the outside now of Mark Glover in second place is Alexander Bagnall. Should get that done before the braking area for Stone. Yeah, absolutely right. So that's a nice move done there by Bagnall up into third place. Second place, I should say, with Mark Glover now behind him. And Richard Rothery is gaining on these two as well. There's our race leader, Bill Cowley. The gap was 1.83 seconds at the end of the previous lap.
Has Alexander Bagnall made any more progress towards him? Yes, he has. He's done the best lap of the race now, 1:14.87 for Alexander Bagnall. The gap is down to just 1.23 seconds.
We quite rightly, though, turn our attention to the race leaders. They've got slower cars to get by. These are the ones, these are the tail enders rather than the problem with the cars battling mechanical dramas. And drawing level now, Bagnall, but it'll only be the outside line for Stowe, Ian.
Yeah, but can he go all the way around the outside there? No, I don't think he can. Bill Cowley just eases back in front. They've got those two back markers ahead of them, and it might have been that Bagnall was a bit mindful of that. Well, that's one car that stopped. That's the 67 car of Paul Mason. Yellow flags, therefore, coming into the Vale, so no overtaking opportunities here. And that also means that the leaders can't pass these back markers either, so that's going to bunch up first, second, third, fourth and fifth, I would think, as we go into probably the final 3 laps of this race.
But how about a grandstand finish, everybody? We've got the top 5 cars all together on the main straight.
77 and 41, Bill Cowley and Alexander Bagnall. And Bill Cowley, the champion a few years ago, back in 2017, in fact, 5 years ago now. He's not been racing regularly in 750 Formula since then. Again, under attack from Bagnall around the outside into Stowe. Now he's a little bit further ahead this time. I think he got his nose in front, but again, just eases out of it, or does he? He sticks around the outside at Stowe Corner. It's bold. It's not actually quite worked out for him, but he's still right in contention as they head down to the Vale. Cowley taking the middle of the road line into the corner, not really giving much of an opportunity for Bagnall to find a way through. But Cowley here is feeling the pressure and is doing his best to soak it up with 2 laps now to go.
Yeah, almost deliberately slow from Cowley through the first part of club, just to back up Bagnall a little bit more. Peter Bove was right with Mark Glover down the hanger straight the previous lap, and he is still underneath the rear wing of the number 4 car as Bove darts to the inside at Abbey. Might even get through in time for Farm, but what about Bagnall? He's trying to find an outside, or rather, inside line on Cowley. Bove did not get past Glover in the background, but that's likely to change at any moment as they head for the link on lap 11.
Yep, so really good racing this. There's not really a discernible gap between the first, second and third place car. In the background, I think Peter Bove was trying to get through and has got through now at the link. So Peter Bove is now through into 4th position, but in doing all of that, he's lost ground to the third place car of Richard Rothery. Mark Glover has gone down to 5th. We've got Bagnall this time trying to go to the inside, switching to the outside here, but he's got to be mindful of Richard Rothery's blue PRS just behind him as well. So it looks like it's anyone. Well, I was going to say a 3:30, but Rothery all of a sudden seems to have lost a bit of time there as Bagnall again makes an attempt on the way into the Vale. He's going to try and drive all the way around the outside and have the inside line for Club Corner, but actually makes a little bit of a mistake there and loses a few car lengths because of that. And now he's into the clutches of Richard Rothery for the final lap.
Just lost traction briefly, didn't he, at the turning point at Vale, and that means now he's a sitting duck to Richard Rothery, who had a cleaner exit, and is Rothery also being caught marginally by Bove. Well, Rothery will focus entirely now on trying to get the place away from Alexander Bagnall, but Bagnall's weathered that storm for the time being. Lost touch with Bill Cowley, but he's now fully focused on defending 2nd position, and Rothery wise probably to concentrate on finishing on the podium because Peter Bove, after that slight error, is through.
So up to the line is going to come Bill Cowley for his 2nd victory of the weekend in the Race Part 750 Formula Championship. A great race it was, though. 2nd place to Alex Bagnall in the star number 41. 3rd place number 1, Peter Bove. A good comeback drive from him in the Derby.
2nd place went to Alex Bagnall. So close there with Bill towards the end of that race.
Yeah, I mean, I just heard the end of what Bill was saying about his ruse of letting me fall into the traps of other people, and it worked perfectly, so congratulations to him. I think I did have legs on him, at least with the slipstream, but his defensive driving was perfect, so there was no way through.
Where were you finding the speed against Bill?
It was basically the corner onto the hanger straight. I was just able to carry a lot more speed through that and get onto the back of him, basically, and that was all the gains were made down that back end of the course.
So we've had a good day. Congratulations to Bill Cowley. We couldn't quite beat him. We had the pace, I think, but ultimately he's a very experienced and wily racer. But I'm absolutely all made up. Thank you so much to Dave Robson, Conway. Thanks to Jay Walker as well with his racing simulations, Greg Swan, loads of other people I need to thank. But yeah, you probably see some of the footage we've picked out from the 750 Motor Club stream. Fantastic. Thank you so much.